welcome to Blood in the Water, our Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Tampa, Florida. I am your storyteller, Bolthra, and thank you for finding us here. If you would give us a like and subscribe to our channel, we'd even love it better. Let me go ahead and introduce my players. We're going to start with Aloysius.
Hello, I'm Aloysius. I play Silas Lambert, the resident Ventru fixer. Likes to make people's problems go away. Also, my camera is freezing up for some reason now.
Yeah.
We're good. We're good. I think. We'll see if it stays that way. Also, resident coterie dad as well.
Yes.
And Fan. He's got a lot. He's got a lot on his plate. A lot going on.
Lot going on.
Stresses him out quite often, though he does his best to keep that buried deep down.
And let's go with Jen.
I'm Jen. I'm playing Layla. She is the bass player in an all-vampire band, and she's a Toreador.
All right. And then Darwin.
Hi, I'm Darwin. I'm playing Stan, a newbie vampire that's still trying to figure all this stuff out.
And seems like some things might be coming together for him. We'll
yeah,
have
shit
to
just
find
keeps
out.
getting crazier as far as Stan's concerned.
Previously,
he just wants to go
on
back
Blood
to 9 to 5,
in the
you know?
Water.
Well, that's never happening again.
Well, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. maybe.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
might
fair.
work.
Depends on the time of year, because the sun.
Fun.
Yeah, sun.
All right.
If it's like fall and winter, no problems. You can do that.
Depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That honestly sounds like the lamest vampire. Like, what changed when you became a vampire? My
Nothing.
hours.
The time I worked. That's what changed.
All right, let's go ahead and get started.
Previously on Blood in the Water.
Doyle announces the band has new management and introduced Gene Price of CC Productions. Seeking answers, the coterie tracked down Emily at a West Tampa nightclub named the Inferno. Emily reluctantly stated that Stan had been embraced by accident. His sire is the progeny of a powerful East Tampa kindred, and that digging in even further would be a mistake. So as we open the evening, we are going to pick up first with Stan. I believe he was going to possibly recruit Silas to help him. Has he decided that he wants to check out CC Productions, or what? Or is there another option he would like to pursue?
The only other option's talking to his boss, and she's a very scary lady, so no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, CC sounds nice.
Okay. We'll kind of skip past the phone call of hey, you want to help me go somewhere. We'll just assume that
Like, hey, Dad, can you help me out, please?
Exactly.
Need a ride to a friend's house.
Exactly. Exactly. We'll just skip past that. We'll assume the two of them get in the car, and they have tracked down the address of CC Productions from not a secret. They found it on Google. They get over into West Tampa, and they find it's in a kind of a commercial area. The address is a 2-story building with a storefront on the first floor, and it looks like it has some kind of living space above it. So it's not an older building, but it's kind of looks like it's probably been through some renovations, that kind of thing. They do have an open sign up from when you guys had looked up the hours previously, and the storyteller is looking back to see when he said they would be open. 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. So we'll assume it's since it's summer. Well, it's about 9 o'clock or so. So they should still be open. You get there, like I said, there's an open sign. There's some lights on inside. Looks, from what you can see, maybe from across the street, looks like like a little front office. Nothing super fancy. Sign on the window just says CC Productions, catering and entertainment.
Also, I would sort of loop Layla into what we're doing, even if she didn't want to come herself, since Just wanted to inform her since
Oh.
we also now know that the manager to her,
Mm-hmm.
the new manager to her band is connected
Right.
to this
Yes.
place.
Right.
This place now also seemingly has a connection to Stan.
Okay, so I get the
Too much of
text
it to be a
and
coincidence.
right.
As it turns out, Weeping Shadow have a show tonight.
Yeah, so I'm
so
probably have my phone off and I'm
yes,
practicing the bass parts
yes.
for stuff and have no idea what y'all are doing.
And that's totally fine.
Yep.
He just wanted to send it off and inform her of what they were doing
Mm-hmm. All right,
to keep her in the loop if possible.
that's cool. That's
We
cool.
we may be headed towards imminent death. Just wanted to let you know what you were missing. So
We're already dead. She wouldn't know
Way
that
to
yet.
be pessimistic.
Now, what's dying a
Vampire.
second time?
Right, you know.
exactly.
Death squared.
All right. So you guys are sitting in a car, staring at a building that's going to close in an hour. What do you like to do?
Alright, Stan. This is your adventure. How do you want to go about this?
Do you want to be the one to go in there, just see what it's like? Not trying to do anything too risky so far. Just pretend we're there to, I don't know, figure out something about something other cater. Pretend we're planning to schedule something.
Just go in and say,
Sure, you're
my son's
you're the
about
businessman,
my,
so
my son's 18th birthday is coming up, and no. you look like
Yes,
a dad.
yes.
Don't believe you.
Yeah, 100%. Sadly, I don't quite look like I'd have a son's 18th birthday anytime soon, or even they know I worked here before or did some work for them in the past, so it may not be best for them to see me again.
When you're looking at the building, Stan, you're just getting this faint feeling of a memory of something. Like it's just like almost like a flicker in your head. You're like, this looks familiar.
Yep, something's going on here. Do you want to go in and act like we're planning to schedule something at the start?
is that your way of asking me to go in there and do this for you?
I'll get in there, but like maybe not the first case scenario for them to see me right away. If we're going to be sneaking around the place, then yeah, I'll join.
Alright, fine. And then he'll just get
He was
out
dead.
of the car. Just get out of the car and start walking to the
Okay.
building.
All right. Kind of walk across the street, get onto the sidewalk in front of the building. If you try the door, it's actually locked. It says they're open, but it's locked.
Are there any other like obvious entrances to the building?
If you you could look in through the glass if you want to.
Yeah, it's there. I'll take a peek inside.
Okay. Peek inside, and kind of in the distance, you see a guy vacuuming.
All right, I'll walk back to the car
Okay.
and sort of just like lean in to the window and tell Stan, well, it says they're open, but the door's all locked up and it looks like a janitor's on duty vacuuming something.
Oh, that maybe something like the night crew that's in charge of cleaning up. Well, if they're already closed and we can't be in there, starts getting out of the car.
Says they're open till 10. The open sign is on.
Okay.
But it's up to you guys.
All
Maybe-
right, what do you want to do?
Stan starts getting out of the car. He's like, all right, I'm just going to maybe get the janitor's attention.
Okay. So you go up and just
It's worth a shot.
knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After a couple knocks, you see the guy turn around and turns off the vacuum. Yeah, he has like a t-shirt on, shorts comes over and he's like, he unlocks the door. He's like, hey, how can I help you?
It says on the web. He pulls out Google. It says on the website you close at 10.
Oh yeah, we're still open. Hey, Gene is out of the office tonight. I don't know a whole lot about the business side. I'm just the maintenance guy. Was there something like, did you guys have something planned or something that you need to talk to him about? Oh
Just
hey,
wanted.
hey,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Hey, come on in, fellas. And he kind of holds open the door for you, lets you guys in, and
All right.
it's kind of has kind of like a seating area with a couple benches. You see like a receptionist desk. There is a kind of a hallway where he was vacuuming that kind of leads further into the building, and then back past back almost like towards where the hallway is. There's a door there, um, and I want to see. And I want to actually have you guys make a roll real fast. Uh, can't talk tonight. Wits and awareness, difficulty 4. I want to have you each roll.
All right.
Okay.
There's a door.
There's a door, exactly.
There's
There's
a
the
door that exists.
Yes.
Wits awareness.
Much better. Okay. As you came in, Silas, the door actually, you see it just kind of, it opened a little bit and then it closed.
I'll sort of like turn to the janitor
Mm-hmm.
as he lets us in and just say, "You the only one here tonight?"
Yeah. I'm the only staff member here tonight. You know, Gene is at some rock show tonight, some rock club. If you want, I mean, if it's really important, you can call him. He may not hear his phone though. I mean, I can give you his number if you like.
It's worth having at the very least.
Stan, could you roll again, please?
Sure thing.
Same thing.
Wits and aware.
Yes, please.
That is the door.
That is a door. Okay. Um, Gene turns around. Not Gene. Jesus. Too many characters already.
Janitor.
The janitor. Yeah, he turns around to
Brains being bombarded.
Yeah, exactly. He turns around to walk over to the receptionist desk, and he's like picking up a phone. And Salas, I'm gonna have you roll again, please.
Okay. Am I rolling the same thing?
Same thing, please. Yeah.
Okay. I'll rouse for this one. Why not? Give myself a
Yeah.
better chance.
Yeah.
I get a bit
Ooh.
hungrier. That's
Alrighty.
fine. Alright. Wits awareness.
Okay.
3 successes.
You could have sworn you saw somebody had like propped the door and was peeking out because you thought you saw just a quick glance of somebody, and then the door just kind of pulls back softly. And the maintenance man, he's like, "Oh, my name's Ted, by the way," and he's rooting through his phone. He's kind of got his glasses. He's kind of doing the, "Yeah, I'll get you his number in a second." So he has his back to you guys.
Alright. I'll just walk up to him
Mhm.
and I'll just like pat him on the shoulder real quick and
Mhm.
just say, "Hey, Ted," and I'll sort of like turn him around so
Mhm.
he's facing me, and I'll just say, "We're allowed to be here, and please don't get in our way and don't bother us," and I'm going to mesmerize him.
Okay. I forget what that roll does.
Let me double check real quick. He needs to make a intelligence plus resolve roll.
Okay. Uh, you rolled really well.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Um, He's like, well,
Oh, well, I gotta rouse it real quick for that. I don't know why I rolled 2 there. Regardless, it's a failure.
okay.
Okay, and then
He's like, well,
dominate plus manipulation.
he's like, up. We'll assume all this happens split in a split second. Oh, okay, yes. All right.
6 successes.
Okay. I'll assume you just repeated what you said to him. And he goes, yeah, sure, that's fine. If you don't mind, I just got a couple things I gotta finish up before we close up for tonight.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Just go back to work.
Okay. Ted turns around, goes back to the hallway.
All right, Stan, we have the building.
Okay.
All right. Good to hear. When Stan hearing that, he already just starts opening filing cabinets, just opening everything, seeing if there's anything. He'll look in depth later, but right now,
Okay.
just.
So far, not finding anything. Silas, make another roll at that door, please.
Right. I was gonna start making my way
Okay.
there. Anyway.
Or are you gonna just go over to it?
No, I was just gonna. Yeah, as soon as the janitor wasn't an issue anymore, I was gonna make my way to the door.
That's fine. Okay. You open up the door, and there is a woman standing there, kind of very thin, blonde hair, and she has very, very bright blue eyes, pale skin, and she just kind of takes a step back and is like, I'm sorry.
Fine.
Stan, you hear a voice speak, someone saying, I'm sorry, and you spin towards the doorway. You look and you see the woman, and the thing you catch most is her blue eyes. And you just focus on it. I actually want to have you make a roll. Let's see. Let's have you make a resolve and etiquette.
Don't know why Stan is good at these things. No, he's not good at it. Never mind.
He's kind of like, he knows that face, and he knows those eyes, and like memories just start flooding back into his head. He remembers this room, sitting in this room, on one of the chairs, waiting to see someone, and then he sees that woman's face, and he doesn't quite know who she is, but he's like, I know her. And the woman is like, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Why are you hiding in the office?
I'm not supposed to come down here.
Oh,
I
see.
Now is Silas kind of blocking the view, or is would he kind of move out of the way to let Stan see what's his stance, I guess?
I'd say, I guess for the most part, he's probably blocking the door just so she can't try to
Okay.
maneuver past him.
Okay. And she says, come upstairs.
All right.
She says, are you alone?
No, I have a friend with me.
And she tries to stick her head around, and she goes, Stan.
Who? Well, yeah, that's my name.
And she starts crying tears of blood. And she's like, Stan. She's like, I'm so sorry. Please.
Well, I would say, well, I guess at seeing that, I'll move out of the doorway since she's having such a visceral reaction to seeing him.
Yeah, she's like, come, like, and she kind of steps back, and what she sees, like, basically there was a stairway that led down to that doorway that goes to the second floor. So she's kind of beckoning you to come
Uh, okay. Stan's very confused. He's like, "Oh, all right."
He
Like, looks to the
has
side.
he has a memory of the staircase.
After you, Stan.
Oh, okay. He's kind of zoned out as he's going up the stairs. He's like, "Oh, I remember doing this." Well, shit.
She is dressed. It's almost like I forgot to mention it. It's almost like an old school flannel nightgown. And her hair is blonde, but it's straight. But yeah, I mean she's in like a old school flannel nightgown, and um, she kind of leads you guys up the stairs. You get up the stairs, you go into, and there's like a little living room here. This is basically like an apartment above the building. And Stan, you've been here before. You recognize it. She says, "I didn't think I'd ever see you again, Stan." She says, "I was such a foolish girl and I just went too far. And they said what I did was bad, so they took you away from me."
What? When was this?
You asking the storyteller or the character?
No, Stan's asking in character. Like,
Okay.
when? When did? When?
The night I brought you over months ago. She says, "I'm so sorry, Stan."
Stan starts getting a little bit closer. Like, no, I date. Like, when?
And she names the night. Storyteller doesn't remember exactly when it was. But god damn, she's good with that. No.
She is on it.
She says, they we try they made me make you forget, but I can give it all back to you now that you're here. Do you want me to help you remember?
Is there like a couch or a seat anywhere in this room?
Yeah.
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 Stan just takes a seat. He's just like, oh, he's just staring at the floor for a little bit.
And she sits down next to you, kind of takes your hand, and she's like smiling sober. She's like she's just so elated to see you. She says, you first met me months ago. I needed help with the business. They put me in charge, but I'm not really in charge because I'm not very good with these kind of things. But they just said they needed to put me somewhere where I wouldn't get in any trouble, and so I found you in the computer thing, and you came and
Stan stops it for a minute. Just, you said you could give me my memory.
yes,
Do it.
okay. And she takes your hand and looks you in the eyes, and the storyteller's trying to roll dice and it's not working here. All right. Okay. She looks you right in the eye and just says like, "You'll remember it all." And it is like sparks go off in his head, just like memories, just all of a sudden, just like everything crashing. Him sitting in a room like this, talking with her. Now when he sees her in his mind's eye, she's in like a business suit and looks very, very dignified. And they're talking about business and wine and all the, just normal things, things that he would remember. And he remembers sitting at a laptop talking to her at a desk. He remembers writing up things for her. And he also, one of the last memories he gets is being up here with her and her lunging at him and sinking her fangs into his throat.
Oh.
Please don't be mad at me, Stan.
Did you try to make me into a vampire? Or was it just...
I'm so lonely, Stan. They, they don't let me go anywhere. They keep me here. They just bring me food or people, bags.
Who are you?
She says, my name's Maya Watson. She just kind of folds down, like very, very almost like afraid of Silas.
And what is your relationship with Baron Montenegro?
My my sire is one of the Baron's men, one of his soldiers. I don't know those terms. Um, I'm always causing trouble. I'm always bad. So they didn't like me very much. They wanted to hide me. So they put me here, and I'm not supposed to talk to anybody, not supposed to do anything. But I was so lonely. I just needed help with my business, and Stan was such a gentleman. He was such a fine man, and I couldn't help myself.
Alright, well that answers some questions, I suppose. Stan, I'm sure this is very overwhelming for you. Do you have any other questions?
What was... You said there were one of the Baron's soldiers. Who?
I'm not allowed to say his name. I'm not. No.
All right.
Because you know why? Because he can hear us. He can hear us through our heads, through the wiring. That's why you don't say his name now.
Stan looks up the stylus. He's like, "Is that a thing vampires can do?"
Say, me, the player, I think I know what this is, but it can Silas, like, deduce or, like, try to figure out what exactly she's talking about?
He could try, yeah.
Okay, what would I roll for that?
Oh, let's see. To try to cut through her. Insight and intelligence. It's going to be a 5.
Okay, not the strongest dice pool, but we'll give it a shot.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you don't.
Silas has no idea what she's talking about.
You kind of just don't know what she's going on about. She says, but don't worry about him. He's in the other kingdom. He can't come here. He can send his knights and his soldiers, but they're not gonna do anything. They've already punished me as much as I can be punished. So.
Oh, cryptic shit! I love this so much.
I don't.
That
was what we call sarcasm, Stan.
I know.
And she's like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be difficult. That's what they told me, is they're soldiers and knights and kings, and some of us are just pawns. And when I did the bad thing, when I did that thing to you, Stan, I wanted to keep you, but I wasn't allowed to. They said that the Deshawn man, the the big man, he would be very angry, uh, um, because of who, well, he is. And that's when the pretty girl, Emily came, and she's so nice, but what she said we had to do just, it broke my heart. I I know the right thing to do was to take you away, but I didn't want to lose you, Stan. I I just did what Emily said to do. She said it was the right thing to do, and that maybe if the the guy over there, if he didn't know that you weren't even born, or I don't know if it's born, made, whatever, that if they didn't know you were around, that everything would be good again, and that I wouldn't need to worry, but I still worry because I'm so lonely. So and she just kind of puts her hands down her. That was just.
Oh, it's all right. Okay. Well, this explains most things now, but
She looks up. I'm trying to do right by you this time.
yeah. Thanks for that.
Does this mean we can talk again? I can see you sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I would like that.
That, yeah. Um, do me a favor, the Baron or whoever ends up showing up. Don't just pretend we weren't here. He points at him and Stylus.
Shh. Got it.
All right. Okay. Thanks for that. Stands up I need air for a minute.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Okay.
You literally don't even have to breathe.
Oh my god.
She looks at Silas. She goes, "It's a metaphor."
Thank you. It's called a fucking joke.
Okay.
And she
Dan
just
gets down.
okay.
Yeah, finish what you just said. Sorry.
Okay. So she'll sit down on the couch and just kind of look over at Silas like, "Hi."
Hey.
Okay. And we'll switch to Stan.
So Dan's having a little bit of panic attack, which is just a little, of course. But yeah, he's pacing a little bit back and forth in the lobby downstairs. Oh, okay, so this explain. How old did this lady look?
Young, maybe 19, 20. So.
Okay, all right. That doesn't explain a lot because vampires. All right. She's wearing. You said a nightgown.
Yeah.
Who else?
Like I said, old school flannel nightgown. So.
Old school flannel. Wait, lady before that.
Now, when you remember now when you met her, she was in business clothes and all cleaned up, and and you're like, well, the woman I met before was very professional, very very friendly, but not not quite the mess that I see tonight. So, but it's her. I mean, those eyes.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the first thing is those eyes are what brought you in that first night. So when you saw them again, it just broke through, most of the memory block that was there.
All right. Yeah. What I meant by the person before, earlier when he met his boss for the first time, lady in the old-fashioned outfit, wheelchair.
Oh, different lady. Yeah.
Different lay, just
Yeah.
both happen to wear old
Yes.
timey clothing.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That's a good question. So,
Both
Fair.
old-timey wearing
Mhm.
clothing ladies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the second vampire aesthetic. The first one's punk,
Yep.
then goth, then
An old
Victorian.
Then like 50s or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bring back 50s fashion.
Okay. All right. He stands. Yeah, he keeps pacing back and forth, thinking about this. Like, oh, okay, so this is explaining most things, but also it explains it. It just gets more confusing.
You can go back up and ask more questions if you'd like.
Fair. Yep. Stan
Okay.
gets
Okay.
back upstairs.
All right. And when you come up the stairs, she pops up like,
Hey, real quick. Did you said they punished you in every way they could? Listen, I'm not gonna bother you about that if you don't want to talk about it, but last time I was here, you were like, wearing a suit and professional.
they told me that if I was gonna talk to anyone, um, Jean told me that I ought to dress like uh, uh, a normal. He said normal person, but I should dress like that, and so as not to scare anyone away. So I hope I look nice. I asked people what women would wear for business meetings, and because I don't really have any family or anything, so yeah, so that's why I looked all good.
Yeah, great. So, why again did they say you were stuck up here? What exactly did you do that was bad?
The blood makes our, and yours too, makes your brain all fuzzy when they're talking on the network.
I
You
see.
don't, sometimes you don't do right things that normal people do. So
Now I understand why you're so cryptic and somewhat infuriating.
What, stylist? What? Why?
Why are you Malkavians so fucking weird?
I can't help
Is
it.
that one of the gangs?
They're one of the clans, yes.
She kind of shrinks down. She's like, I can't help it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't have to
Clan just
you don't have.
frustrates me.
I don't like bullies. And,
Oh, that's kind of partly my job, so sorry.
she and she looks back to Stan. She says, "We had such good talks. I mean, you told me about your family, about all all the people you work with, about the job. Um,
Real quick, can Stan try to remember or think back, like, a few months ago, did he act like that, where he would just talk about himself to his clients?
he could try to remember that. I'm not going to make you roll. He thinks she might have goosed you a little bit to get you to be a little more open, maybe than maybe he normally would have been. Somehow she put him at ease. Let's put it that way. She says, I wish I had a family. I mean, I guess I had one when I was a person or a normal person. I don't remember them, but I guess she says, I guess I was jealous. So
Yeah. Styles, can I talk to you for a minute?
Sure.
And you see her she goes, it's almost time to close.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably about 9. We're gonna say 9, almost 9:30 now. So but yep. Do you guys go down the stairs or where do
Go
you
down.
want to talk?
Stan, where you want to talk?
Down the stairs. We're not gonna like shove her in the corner so she doesn't hear us.
Okay.
Yeah. You said Malkavian.
You know, I always had my suspicions about you, but it's good to know I was right.
What?
Just gave me that vibe.
I don't even know what that vibe is. What is a Malkavian?
Well, they're the clan of the moon. Something about their blood just messes with your brain. Makes you a bit off compared to most normal people. So typically, if you had a mental disorder before, probably gonna be 10 times worse if you're bit by a Malkavian. But also they're known for having visions or premonitions or whatever, seeing things that have yet to happen, whether they be the short term or the long term. Very popular in Camarilla circles. Princes like to have them around. On the by and by, most people tend to be annoyed by them whenever they have to work with them. It's because they could be cryptic and a bit tedious to talk to, if I'm being frank.
Yeah. I realize that. Well, why don't I act like that then?
Well, clearly something happened in the bracing process that did not fully, I guess, latch on to you like it should have. So I guess consider yourself lucky in that regard. In some circles, at the very least. In others, you will probably be. We don't go into Camarilla territory anytime, because they'll probably, at the very least, spit on you wherever you walk. So.
Oh, okay.
Hashtag Ventru bias. So
All right. I think we got most out of her of what we could understand.
No, aside from who her sire is, so we can, stop him from coming after you.
You know what? Yeah, we should. It looks like she doesn't want to tell us who it is, but we may be able to learn enough stuff about them that we can connect dots.
Well, yes, let's start now. We know that that he works for Baron Montenegro and is seemingly one of his not quite foot soldiers, but more like lieutenants, I suppose. So maybe not necessarily super close, but trusted enough at the very least.
Trusted enough that he was willing to just give them a building to hold one of their sires, or he bought it. One of the
Well,
two.
clearly he is embarrassed by her, and then her being your sire, you are thus an embarrassment of an embarrassment. So, understandable that he would A, want you dead, and B, want her out of sight, out of sight, out of mind, all that.
Oh, okay. I'm fairly sure the clans get passed down, so he must also be a.
He would also be a Malkavian, if she is a Malkavian, like I believe her to be. That is also potentially something to go off of.
All right, let's.
Also, there's the very obvious connection to this building, but if he owns it, he probably owns it under an alias if he's been remotely smart, so I would imagine he is. Because as infuriating as Malkavians can be, and how some of them are batshit crazy, most of them are smarter than people give them credit for.
Oh yeah. All right. We could try asking her for more information about the guy. Just nothing like the name, but like, oh yeah, what does he look like? Indirect ways of asking. Or the janitor.
The janitor's a possibility. I made him think we belong here, so maybe he'll be able to answer some questions.
Yeah. But we don't have much to go on for him. Let's see what information we can get out of her upstairs, and then ask the janitor, do you know anyone by that description?
Do you want me to try to compel his name out of her?
No. Maybe not resort to that yet.
Alright. This is your show, let's get on with it.
Yeah, thanks. Stan goes back upstairs. Does Silas come with?
Yeah, he'll come with.
Okay. And she kind of pops up. She's like, "You came back."
Yeah, we're gonna stay just for, a little bit longer, maybe
Okay.
until closing.
Okay. Only have 25 minutes.
Yeah, we'll leave about 5 minutes before closing. Don't worry about that. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. She's kind of wiping the tears away. She's like,
Can Stan just start trying to make small talk with her and like little bits?
She would
here and
love that.
All right, little bits here and there. He's trying to learn anything about the guy that sired her. Maybe not like directly the name, but like I wonder if they choose. Like he says, "Oh, I wonder if people sire people with I don't know, same hair color. Did he look like either of us?"
She kind of looks at him. She's like, "Oh, we're playing a game now, aren't we?" Okay, I'll play along. She says, "No, don't have the same hair."
Okay, what color are both of their hairs? Stan has black hair. She has blonde hair.
Mm-hmm. What does Silas have?
Silas has, like, Irish red hair.
Okay. She says,
Okay, I guess I'm playing 20 questions to figure this dude out. Um, did he have an accent like us? Or did he sound different?
and I've never thought about that. I don't know.
That's great. That was sarcasm.
She's like, I know what sarcasm is. She's like,
I think that out of character.
She goes, I'm crazy. I'm not stupid.
Fair.
Uh-oh.
And Stan perished.
Disappears. Oh no! Oh no!
Alrighty. We will give him a second to come back.
Yeah.
We will be getting to Layla once we're done with this scene.
I'm sure we will.
So
this is important though.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. This episode's going to run a little longer than the usual.
That's
ones.
fine. That's fine.
But yeah, she'll just sit back and just looks over at Silas. So I don't know if I got. So what's your name again?
Silas.
Silas. Is that like the Mariner or Marner or something like that? Wasn't there a book about that? I can't remember. I think I had to read it in high school.
Exciting.
So where do you live?
Why would I tell you that?
You know where I live.
I wasn't even expecting you to be here.
You're kind of grouchy, aren't you?
It's been a time.
Insert awkward music here. So.
To start playing elevator music.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? Why don't we actually, while we wait, why don't we jump over to Layla, and we'll kind of go through some of her stuff. So we are over at the Vale, and Weeping Shadow are on stage. This is the show before the big show.
Right, right.
And I'd say it's close to a full house tonight.
Wow.
Cool. And they are the headliners tonight. So Layla wants to try to really try to rev this crowd up, because if the better they do tonight, the better better they'll do potentially the next night. I want to have you make a rouse check.
Okay. Did it work? Nope. There it goes. It did something.
Okay, success. Okay, good.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna have you make a charisma and performance roll, and it's gonna be only a. We're gonna make this actually about a 4. So.
Okay, so charisma, and where's performance? There's performance.
Three successes. Okay. The crowd is into the song. They're not quite going as crazy as they are some nights, but they're really enjoying the show.
All right, cool.
They play through their whole set, and when she's on stage, she does kind of look off occasionally, sees their new manager Gene standing stage left. He's kind of looking at his phone. I'm kind of looking up, looking at his phone. As you get into the last song, now this time this is actually gonna be a little later than when Silas and Stan are at CC Productions. So almost think of like kind of what they did kind of came first and then now. So just as like a time reference for everybody. As she's playing, even over the music, you hear the sound of motorcycles approaching. And that has to be pretty freaking loud over a heavy metal band if you can hear motorcycles approaching. I
look over at Doyle to see if he's hearing that too.
Doyle's he's just in his thing. He's singing away. He's not really paying any attention to that. He's kind of lost in the
Okay, I'm
as-
gonna act normal
as
and see what happens.
as you guys are finishing your last song and and you're just playing out those last notes and just basically just milking the energy from the crowd, she whips her hair back and she kind of looks over the front door and she sees a familiar face walk in. It was the biker Miles Dixon comes strolling in.
Him again.
That son of a bitch. Also, welcome back, Stan.
Welcome back.
I have no idea what the fuck happened.
No problem.
We stopped your scenario a bit
Yep.
to shift to Layla in
Yeah.
the meantime.
Yes, that way you weren't missing anything important.
Right.
It's important. It's just not Stan's important stuff.
You know what I meant.
Yes.
Maya and Silas tried to have a conversation. It went nowhere. So,
Yes.
so just to kind of finish this up, she sees Miles Dixon walk in, followed by about 3 or 4 guys in motorcycle club jackets.
Great.
So, switching back over to the other scene. So Stan is talking to Maya. Let me get back into character here. You were playing 20 questions. So.
I am so far done with 2. No accent, and they don't have either blonde, black hair, or black hair. Let me see. I'll just rapid fire the rest. How tall was he?
6'1".
6'1". All right. Oh, I didn't ask this. They said he, she, or they, or other pronouns. Which one?
That would be telling now, wouldn't it?
What?
Not supposed to say their name.
Fair.
And you do remember earlier she said he, so.
Yes.
So
She kind of
she's-
let that slip.
Yeah. So she tried to backpedal a little bit.
Fair. I'm thinking real quick. How old are they?
Old.
All right, very old. That is at least a little helpful.
In what way?
We know they're not. Yeah, how this person's wearing old-timey clothing. I imagine they are also very old.
Doesn't mean they're dressed in old-timey clothing. That
Yeah.
they look old.
Listen, do you want to play 20 questions with the same person?
Oh no, go ahead. This is yours. This is your thing.
All right. How much do they weigh?
Should they weigh? I don't know. I never tried to lift him.
Okay. No, writing this down, unliftable.
Too heavy to lift.
Too heavy. A man of copious size. Do they, I don't know, have a beard? Or facial hair?
Yes.
All right, facial hair.
Jean will
What
be.
do they?
Oh, go ahead.
No, you finish.
So Jean's going to be back soon, and you have to be out of here before Jean gets back. Does
Jean?
does Ted know you're here?
Ted knows we're here.
Oh.
Ted knows we're here, but like we said, you
Gave
can't
us free
tell anyone
reign.
we're here. It's part of the game. You know?
And you see something on her face kind of just shift just suddenly, and she's just like her eye kind of twitches, and she's like, I don't know if I like this game anymore. It it might be better if you go. But you can come back some other time. But I think tonight it's because you don't know who's here and what. It's so. Thank you for coming, though.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for meeting you.
And she gets
Yeah.
up and she's like, and she kind of leans in, stands here. She goes, Silas is grouchy. Maybe take him out for a drink or something. He just doesn't say. And of course, he can hear this. He's like, maybe take him out for a drink or something. He's just a little. I think he's a little tense.
Just a little. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Thanks for the advice.
And she's like,
if you want to shit talk, maybe whisper quieter next time.
I think he can hear us.
and she's like, okay. I was uncalled for. I know. I'm sorry.
And then he just walks out.
Okay.
And like, bye. Nice meeting you again.
And she
See you later.
actually gives him. She reaches out to give him a big hug. She's like, I'm sorry again.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And goes in for the hug.
Okay. And she just grips him like a long lost relative. Pats him on the shoulder and says, "Okay, we'll talk soon."
Will do. See ya.
Okay. And Stan goes down the stairs. Ted is actually vacuuming by the door now.
All right, see you later, Ted.
Okay, fellas, good to see you.
Bye.
And then Silas is gonna pull out his phone and just text Layla. Ran into Stan's girlfriend. Send.
She's on stage at the moment.
I'm on stage, and I've got a motorcycle problem.
Totally
But you don't know that, you know?
Nope,
you don't
just
know
had
that.
to send that out into the world.
Okay.
Real quick,
Yeah.
does the whole thing make people remember what they compelled for?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I believe so. But it was.
Right.
I think it's. Well, actually, I think it's probably more to do someone's bidding. I would think. But suppose you could try to make someone remember something. I don't know. That might be a higher level of dominate.
No, I'm wondering if people remember what happens while they were compelled.
Oh.
While it's going, they just
I gotcha.
perceive it as normal. But once it's like worn off, they're like, "Hold on, why did I do that?" kind of deal.
Yeah.
Unless specifically you have a higher level ability,
Yeah.
then they can like rationalize it to be like, "Yep, I totally wanted to do that of my own volition."
Probably after they leave, Ted will probably be like, "Oh, there were some boys in for something," but they probably got to talk to Gene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anything else you guys want to do?
All right, Sedan. You get most of what you wanted. Arguably, I think you got more than you were expecting at the very least. I know I got more than I was expecting. I wasn't expecting to run into your sire just hanging up in someone's attic in this building.
Yeah, that also wasn't on my list of expectations today, was not. Yeah. I also get why they want to hunt me down now.
Yeah, well, we won't be able to do much about it until we know exactly who it is. We know that he works for Baron Montenegro. Problem being, if we do take care of this guy, at least ourselves, then we'll have Baron Montenegro most likely gunning for us, so instead of one specific guy from East Tampa gunning for us, we'll have the entirety of East Tampa gunning for us instead. So luckily, maybe we can go to Deshawn and sort of tell him selectively what we know, and then maybe do something about this, or maybe we can sort of spin it to look like we were, at the very least, minimally involved in the inevitable shit show that's about to happen.
Yeah, that's one of our options.
You don't care for that option?
Like the biker lady said earlier, it may start a war if people
Oh
know.
shit, Stan. I'm trying to make it so that we are not culpable for this, and no offense, but I don't want people hunting me down because someone's gunning for your ass and I helped you.
Yeah, fair. Okay, either that or ditch town. I like the first option more.
And look, maybe they'll get into a anarch war, maybe they won't. Maybe if something can be worked out, possibly. Not super, anticipating that one. I don't think that's very likely, but I can hope that that's doesn't get as sloppy as it could. I'm just hoping for that, at the very least. We'll have to find out. But we won't know until we, tell somebody. We could go to Deshawn. He seems prepared to, or at the very least willing to do something about the situation, seeing as Emily was involved in the latest shootout assassination attempt. Or we could try going to Cassandra. We could try going to both of them. And maybe sort of work out, at the very least, a truce, a peace accord between the two. Have them both gang up against Jesus. I don't know. I'm spitballing here. I'm trying to give us options.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's helpful at the very least. What I'm worried about is if we tell one of the other rulers, what's stopping them from just selling me out?
Fair point. I mean, seemingly, at the very least, Cassandra is willing to have your back. And Sean really only seemed interested in you because Emily got caught in the line of fire. Granted, he could want to string you along like the little string bean that you are, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Could always try to confront Emily again. Tell her that we know whole deal. And if it's not entirely true, we could try to get her to slip up a little bit.
If we find the guy who sired my sire, and we don't make it obvious that he's not around anymore, or at least obvious that we didn't do it, could we stop all the other options from happening? No war, just probably one of the rival gangs or someone. Maybe they just got into an argument with someone, they took him out.
So what you're saying is you want to try to create a scenario where we off him, but make it look like he hasn't been offed, So everything just stays as is.
And maybe not look at like he had been off, weakened to off him.
Okay, look, it's very hard to. It's very hard for us to die in a way that doesn't look like someone just horribly and gruesomely murdered us.
All right.
Granted, depending on how old he is, he could make our job very easy and just wither into dust, and that's that. But I wouldn't necessarily hedge our bets on that and have us dealing with at least a skeleton on our hands.
Skeleton? Like normal skeleton, not undead skeleton, right?
Well, yes, just a normal skeleton.
There's got to be a way to take care of that. Easier than dealing with the repercussions of accidentally causing a small scale war. Even if it looks like he died, we could maybe make it so it looks like we didn't kill him.
I guess a question also arises as to whether Jesus knows that any of this is happening, and if he doesn't, how he would feel about one of his lieutenants causing, I guess, a kerfuffle in other barons' domains and potentially having that fall back on him. Could be worth pursuing or looking into at the very least.
Yeah, there's a few.
If that were the case, then potentially we could have Jesus, I don't know, do something about it, because I would imagine he'd be rather pissed at one of his lieutenants causing him unwanted trouble. Granted, that's just me spitballing. I don't know too much about the man personally, as I haven't met him.
Or he'd help him out, one of his underlings.
That is true. Depends on their relationship. In which case, in that case, then it would definitely, in our best interests. Well, if that were to happen, it would most certainly be in our best interest to try to get help from one of the other barons, because they're the only ones with the amount of resources to be able to do anything about another entire barony. I'm not saying we have to come up with a solution this instant. We just need to think about what our next move is gonna be. And when we think about it, we need to choose very carefully, because it's most likely going to have very serious ramifications.
Yeah. Best case scenario, nothing practically happens to the rest of us and the guy doesn't want to hunt this anymore. Worst case, we're all dead and a war starts.
More or less, yes. First one's a very optimistic outlook that I don't entirely share, but I appreciate the optimism in this very dour situation.
Yeah.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Sounds good.
Okay. Before we move on, there's one piece of business I want to take care of. Now that Stan's heritage has been confirmed, he is a Malkavian. Whether or not he chooses to present himself as that, but his blood is Malkavian. As such, he and I'll just read from the book. Afflicted by their lineage, all Malkavians are cursed with at least one type of mental derangement. Depending on their history and the state of their mind at death, they may experience delusions, visions of terrible clarity, or something entirely different. So I'm going to allow Stan to choose what that one derangement would be for his character.
I like how you say allow, like it's an option.
I will let you choose what's wrong with you.
If you'd like, I can do it. I can do it for you. I was going to be since he's been through a bit of trauma this evening. I thought I'd allow you before next session to think of possibly what his dirge. It may be something that hasn't even manifested yet. Maybe with the trigger of the memory, something might occur. So I'm going to update his character sheet to show that he is Malkavian, and we'll let you think of what his possible derangement might be.
I already know it's going to be something about memory loss.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's jump over to the Vale, and just to kind of take a step back. As the song was finishing, Layla sees Miles Dixon walk in, followed by three guys who were in similar club jackets. Crowd's going wild. She watches Miles walk over to the bar, and he's sitting there talking to the bartender. Then he's kind of glancing around. Doyle comes up to Layla and gets her attention. He's like, "Hey, that was great. That was awesome."
Yeah, we got a problem.
What?
Guy at the bar. You've seen him before. Motorcycle dude.
Oh.
He's trouble.
Yeah.
He's brought some friends.
Oh shit. What do they want?
Yeah. I have no fucking clue.
He's like, all right. Let's just get off stage.
Yeah. And wave at the crowd and
Yep.
out through the back entrance or behind the stage or whatever.
So they're going to try to get to the the dressing room. Backstage. But he's in there. Everybody seems like they're actually in a really good mood. The show went well. And Gene comes back and he's like, "Guys, awesome! You are aces tonight." He's like,
Thanks.
He's like, "If you guys play like that next week, with Carpathian Cross, they're definitely gonna talk about you. And we talked about that show over at the Inferno sometime.
Right.
So everything's looking great for you guys." He's like, I gotta just go out and do something real quick. I'll be right back. We can talk.
Okay.
And he goes
Sure.
out, and he goes out to the dressing room door, opens up the door, and Miles is standing right there.
Fuck.
And Gene just kind of looks up and he's like, "Hey, no autographs tonight. The band, they just got off stage."
No, we sort of know him a little bit.
And he just looks down. Gene's like, "Move." Gene just, okay.
Backs up.
Miles strolls in by himself. And he's like, "Evening, guys."
What do you want, Miles?
He's like, "Guess we'll just get down to it then.
May as well.
Where's Stan?"
I don't know. I've been on the stage for the last hour and a half, and I was at home practicing before then. I have no idea where he is.
He comes in here all the time. I know he's been seen here.
He doesn't come in all the time.
A couple times, yeah. From
Well, I mean, anybody can come in a couple times. I mean, it's a bar. It's one of the only bars out here, Miles.
Donnie stands up and he's like, "You know what, Miles? Why don't you just fuck off, okay? We don't got him."
Yep.
And Miles just kind of turns to him. He's like, "I wasn't talking to you, boy."
Now I'm backing the hell up.
And Miles and Donnie kind of get in each other's faces. And Gene kind of comes over. He's like, "Hey, come on, guys.
Gene, you're gonna get hurt. You don't want this."
Miles grabs Gene and just throws him to the other side of the room.
Oh, crap.
Doyle doesn't do anything, and Amadeus doesn't do anything. They just kind of hang back. He says, and Miles says, "Do we just take this outside? Because I guess you don't want to fuck up your nice little club, do you?" Donnie's like,
Is that a threat?
let's go. Miles looks over you. He's like, "Yeah, it is a threat, and you know what I'll do."
I have no idea what you'll do.
He starts.
I'm sure it'll make the news if you start something, though.
He starts walking towards Layla. He's
What do you want?
He's like, "I want Stan."
We ain't got him. He's not here. Look, you think he's hiding in one of like the, I don't know, boxes for the guitars and shit? I mean,
He's like,
he ain't here.
"You can find him for me."
I have no idea where he is.
You ain't been with him at all anytime
No.
recently?
No, not at all.
It's not what I hear.
Well, maybe your sources are wrong.
Seems like you and me might have the same sources. And just
What do you mean?
he just kind
What
of
are you
smiles.
talking about?
He's like, "You got into some trouble over in Largo, didn't you?"
Probably on the news. We're fine.
You didn't get
Nothing
shot.
special.
Nobody shot at you.
You've seen the news reports. You can guess.
He's like, "All right, I'm done with you." And he turns around to walk away, and Donnie slugs him right in the jaw. Miles goes, "Roar!"
There we go.
Gets up and he just spins, and Miles gets up and just like Wolverine, almost like popping claws. He's just like,
Fuck.
Jean gets up like, "Whoa, whoa. Are we gonna do
I'm
this?"
gonna go see if Gene's okay, or if I can move him back more, because he's probably gonna try to talk his way into it.
Miles will dive at Donnie and push him through the room, and there's like a back door that goes out to an alley.
Yeah.
And they go smashing through the door and tumble out into the alley, and then the door slams shut.
Well, I'd rather they break shit out there than in here.
And you hear you hear what sounds like maybe a dumpster moving. And Gene seems like he's alright. He's just like, who is that guy?
He's an asshole. Don't worry about him.
Oh, man. Well, I hope Donnie doesn't hurt his hands. I mean, you guys need him.
No, he'll be fine. He does this a lot.
He's like, all right. Doyle kind of bravely now stands up and just kind of sticks his head outside, and he's like, I don't know where they went, but they're gone.
Okay.
And anything else from Layla before we wrap up? Hopefully she hasn't lost her drummer.
Yeah, really, like, literally, like, where the fuck did he go? Yeah. Maybe we should go looking?
He's like,
I don't know where.
He's like, I'm not messing with that Miles guy.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not expecting to fight him, but I mean, we should probably go find our drummer, you know? I mean, we got a gig coming up. It's kind of important.
All right. And I think we're going to stop there with
All right.
with the missing Donnie and
Yeah.
And perhaps the future of Weeping Shadow in jeopardy. So,
Yep.
well, thanks everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed tonight. I know I've had a blast. I'd like to thank my players again. Jen, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yep, I'm the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast. It's about mostly the Diablo 3 series of games and whatever's going on with Activision Blizzard King, because there's been a lot of shenanigans with them. Comes out every Saturday. It's a community podcast, so I do include things from content from the Diablo community, and every Saturday.
Okay.
ShatteredSoulstone.com.
Alrighty. Anybody else have anything? Any questions? Anything pertinent?
I don't know. Donnie's such a bro.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Down for anything, and I kind of love it.
Yeah.
That is great.
Mhm.
Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody. Again, give us a like and subscribe to the channel, and we will see you again for our final episode of the season, episode 10, next week. Thanks everybody.